Last week we made an initial video about the foundation or the establishment of a personal ethos, or at least the beginning of how to develop a personal ethos. And mine is still very much in the works. But I recommended perhaps a three-pillar or three-tenant foundation to this personal ethos, that being strength, beauty, and honor. So this week, I decided to dive in a little bit more. I believe that more than a few of you are interested in this subject, as I am, and I'm enjoying parsing these concepts down and crystallizing them. So this week, we're going to discuss the first pillar, strength, and I'd like to break it down into two different categories and explain, at least to my worldview, why those two categories are complementary and both of equal importance. First, let's talk about what the role of a man is. The traditional man is a protector and a provider. To me, those are the most natural and the most noble characteristics a man can have, or roles a man can have. Now, hold on to that concept of nature and nobility, because we're going to discuss that perhaps in a further video. I think that's a very important litmus test to gauge the value of a characteristic, noble and natural. But assuming that we all are on the same page, we know a man needs to protect and provide for his family, for his loved ones, for his community, at least his immediate community. How can you do those things as a man if you don't have strength, right? You need to be strong enough to provide financially and to protect physically. So the strength required for a man to embrace these roles and wear this mantle has to be both physical strength and non-physical. Very simple. We're going to paint with broad strokes here. Non-physical is everything academic, intellectual, psychological, mental strength, and physical is the raw, brute strength that you need to chop down a tree and build a fence out of it. So you might be thinking that hundreds of years ago, you are correct to think that physical strength was perhaps more important in the minds of people and society when the world was more rugged, more violent, less predictable. You needed to have raw strength to increase your value in your culture and to protect and provide for your loved ones. Now, in modern society, for better or for worse, a lot of those physical things are taken care of by the state or by people in uniform. We don't have to always chop down our own trees, for instance. So today's modern society may value the academic, the intellectual, the mental strength, and I'm not casting a value judgment on that, but I want the men listening to this to place equal value on physical as well as mental strength, because all the advanced degrees in the world aren't going to allow you to pull your wife out of a burning building or a burning car, if God forbid that were to happen. Only physical strength can do that. So a traditional man has to build his personal ethos or develop his character transcendent to or outside of the current cultural milieu that we find ourselves in, because society changes, but the need for a man to be physically strong and mentally strong never changes. So as you're developing your characteristics and as you're developing your core, every single day, men, you should be working on making yourself stronger physically and mentally. How to do that will be discussions of further videos, but for today, I want you to dwell on that, and we'll talk again soon.